Thank you to Care Of for sponsoring today's video. Hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back for another video. Today is one of the most special videos we'll ever make. We're talking about the baby's birth story. Somehow he is asleep and in my arms and I cannot risk putting him down. So he is helping us film
the birth story.
Should we start at the beginning?
Yes.
You made it to the scheduled C-section date.
Yes, I made it to almost 38 weeks, which is really good. We were not expecting that. Both babies were breech. I would have had a C-section no matter what if I would have gone into labor. Luckily, I did not, so I didn't have to experience labor. Very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, you didn't want to experience labor, so it worked out.
I'm not one of those people who ever wanted to experience like a vaginal birth. So I was thrilled about the C-section. I know it's unpopular opinion to many, but I was really happy. So we made it to the scheduled date. So that meant we knew when it was going to happen and we just show up at the hospital.
You were scheduled for the first C-section of the day.
Yes, so we had to get there for 6:30.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of an early morning, but still we didn't lose our whole night in labor or anything. So that was
or like days,
good.
Wazzy. Some people are in labor for days.
Yeah. Oof. We woke up, got ready, left, got to the hospital. 6:30. Our birth doula met us there.
What was your mood like going to the hospital? Like
Fine.
getting ready?
It was fine. I was nervous the night before, but not enough to like lose sleep or anything. I'm more nervous for the dentist than I was for this. I was fine. I wasn't nervous at all in the morning, weirdly. It was just like, going to another appointment.
Why did we have a birth doula? What is a birth doula? Should we say that?
Yeah, I don't know how to properly say it, but essentially it's a person who is there to support you.
A support person.
Through your birth. And we met with ours prior to the C-section twice. We talked about birth plan, like all the different scenarios that could happen if we're going to the NICU, or just basically preparing mentally for it.
And it helped your mental health much.
I think that's why I had no anxiety.
Yeah, the lead up, like that preparation of knowing like these are the potential outcomes, this is how everything goes in a C-section, because you really don't know.
And knowing that she was going to be a familiar face there was really helpful.
And so experienced. And interestingly here, when you have a C-section, even if it's a planned C-section, it's not done by your doctor, like your OB that's followed your pregnancy. There was also that added layer of like you wouldn't know any of the healthcare providers that were doing this surgery.
No. Which was fine because
we had her.
She was there. So it was really helpful and we're really glad that we had her.
Thank you to Care Of for sponsoring today's video.
My wife's an influencer.
What did I do now?
You influenced me. So, okay, Sam's been taking care of vitamins for a while now.
I have been. I love them.
Yes. So if you don't know what Care Of is, it's a supplement subscription service. You take a quiz and then they give you a personalized recommendation of vitamins and supplements and put them in these super individual packages.
So this is all of the supplements that you need to take for the day. So
That's
Allie's say, hi Allie. They're so cute. Mine say, hi Sam, and they have a little fact on them. Very fun.
You've been taking these for a while.
I have been.
I'm terrible at taking vitamins. I never remember. I'm literally so bad at it, but now that I'm postpartum, I feel like it's important for me to recover and get my nutrients back. I'm really excited. This has made it so easy to remember. I also love that they're easy to take on the go. So if we're traveling or anything, I can stick to my routine. I don't have to have a million pills laying around in weird spots.
Weird bottles full of pills.
No
used
more
to do
of
this
that.
thing where she would just throw them all in one bottle and then it was a mess.
It's not a smart routine.
No.
So in mine, I have vitamin D, probiotics, and then I also got a sleep supplement and then a chia and flax. So these were all suggested to me based on the quiz that I filled out. Everyone will be different, so it's super personalized and it's tailored to your specific needs. It makes it really easy for me to follow a routine. I take this once a day, and their app also gives you daily reminders. So if you're like me and you need that extra reminder to do something that's even easy to do,
especially
makes it easier.
With us having the twins, they are amazing and time consuming. It is so easy to forget to take care of ourselves and just like focus on these amazing two little humans.
Yes.
So this is a really easy way of like remembering to take care of ourselves, just like that little reminder of taking care of us too, not just them.
Take the Care Of quiz to find out what is recommended for you.
And use our code Allie and Sam 50 for 50% off your first order. huge discount.
And thank you again to Care Up for sponsoring today's video. Use
And
that
for
code, guys. Use it.
taking
Care of us.
You're funny.
My dad jokes are coming out.
So we get to the hospital, we meet with our doula, check you in.
We basically just went to a little room. We waited there and chatted, and then a nurse came, so she was going to be the nurse who was with us throughout C-section and then in recovery for a bit. So that was great. She also explained everything that was going to happen. Just like went through some questions, medical stuff, and then she came back with the anesthesia team. There's 2 of them, and then the doctor came and introduced themselves,
And the resident and the med student.
So everybody came to be like, "Hi, we'll see you there."
She brought you a medication that you had
Yeah,
to
a shot. It was like a little shot of, it tastes like sourpuss, but also to me it tasted like tequila mixed with salt. So I
Everyone
took it like
said
a
how
shot.
gross it was and that you had to shot
And I
it,
was
but
like,
you didn't
"Ooh,
think it was that
tequila."
bad.
It was good to me.
What was it for? Neutralizing stomach acid?
Maybe.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know, something. And I had to have taken a pill the night before and a pill that morning that was also for similar thing. Time passed, and
We
then,
filmed TikToks.
Yeah, it was
and
very
took
chill. Like,
pictures.
we were just waiting essentially, and then finally they said, "Okay, let's go. Let's walk over to the ER." Oh,
So
the
you
OR.
walked.
Sorry.
Yeah, the OR.
So we went over. We had our little hats on,
And I had on scrubs, but they were like made of paper. And they were really weird, like disposable
weird.
scrubs.
So yeah, we went in, and then everyone said hi. All the people in there. There was lots of people.
So many, because there was a NICU team for each baby, and then like we said, the resident, the doctor, the med student, 2 anesthesiologists, a bunch of nurses. How are you feeling at this point?
Then I got a smidge nervous. This table was so skinny.
It
I was
was,
like,
yeah.
how am I gonna fit on that
Not
table?
roll
It
off.
was so skinny. Anyway, that's what I was most like, wow. I'm not
And the
gonna
first
fit on
thing
that
was
thing.
getting your IV.
Yep, so I sat down and they were like, we're gonna do your IV. They froze it. They froze my skin to do the IV, which was bizarre to me. It's like, why? Anyway.
Can you confirm what you told me after, that you found that the most painful
Yes.
part?
Oh God. If you ever got an IV in your hand, it's not exactly fun. I had never done that. I'd never got one. Only in my blood taker area, you know.
Yeah.
That was very disturbing to me, but it was fine. So
And I wasn't with you at this point. They had me in a wheelie chair, like sitting against the wall, just waiting.
yeah, so they put that in, put the IV in, and they're like, you're done. I was like, whew, okay. Then it was on to the freezing, so the spinal freezing. It was not an epidural. Nothing stayed in my back.
Yeah,
it
with
was just needles.
With an epidural, the tube stays in, so I think because it's for labor, which can last an undetermined amount of time, they need to keep it in so they can give you more,
Yeah.
versus the spinal is an injection.
Yeah, I think they did 2 injections. I don't know. But they froze that too, so they felt, and I had to slouch like this, and then they put the freezing in. That was the worst part.
Was it?
Well, no, the IV, but of the spinal.
Yeah.
It was the freezing, because I don't like needles, but I couldn't see, so really it was fine.
You should have seen how big the spinal needle was.
Oh, was it?
It was like inches long. It was huge.
Well, good thing I didn't see. I would have fainted.
They wouldn't let you see that, I don't think. They
I
had
have
it very hidden.
needle anxiety, so I fainted on the flu
I
shot.
saw it because at that point they had me in front of you holding your hands, and
Oh,
you almost
that's
like
so disturbing.
You almost
Glad I didn't
broke
see it.
my hand. Like I had to stop you at one point because you were squeezing my hand so hard.
Yeah, I
and
was
my
so
wedding
nervous.
rings-
I was bracing for the impact. I was like, but it never came.
My
the
wedding
impact
rings
never
were
came.
like
It was
digging
fine.
into my hands, and for the like first half of the day, I had imprints on my fingers. I was like, you're gonna break my finger, and that was just the nerves. Then you were like, oh,
Oh, I
It's
was
over.
yeah, well, it didn't hurt. The freezing like pinched like a flu shot. It was like pressure. It felt like someone was just poking your back. So the freezing must do a good job of it.
they laid you down.
And then they said you're gonna feel warm, and it was like a hot tub rising up your body, and they laid you down, and I was like, okay. Then I was like, I'm gonna faint. It was anxiety. It wasn't that. It was like after I get a needle.
Yeah.
It's like I get anxiety.
Do you remember how they tested to see if you were frozen?
Yeah, it was like ice or something.
I think it was ice.
They
yeah.
touched it here, and then we're like, can you
It's
feel
the
it?
same place,
And then I was
yeah.
like, is that all you're gonna test? And they were like, yeah. And then he was talking. Well, they gave me some fluids, I think, when I was faint to help me. And within seconds, I felt better. Yeah, and then he was like, they already started.
And then your blood pressure dropped, and your blood pressure did get really low. So they were dealing with it and gave you a bunch of medication in your IV. But that was the only little thing in the whole procedure, and it was right at the start. And then they got your blood pressure back up, and then you were good to go.
Yeah, and once I knew that they had started, I was like, okay, this is fine. This does not hurt. I can't feel anything. And I kept saying like, is it going good? Is it going okay? And they were like, yes, if you don't hear anything, it's fine. That was it. And then they were like, you're going to feel some pressure in a minute. And I didn't feel anything. And then they were like, the baby's going to be here in a minute. And then it was.
And then they pulled that baby A.
There he was.
He made a noise.
And I was like, can I see? I was like, I can't see.
So they held him up over top of the sheet and then ended up bringing him around.
Yeah, and they're like, here you
They
go.
cut the cord and they brought him all the way around so that we could get a good look at him.
I was like, oh my God, he's
And
so
then
small.
they brought him over to the NICU team and they checked him over. Everything was perfect. And then while they were checking baby A over, baby B was being delivered.
Yep.
Then they brought baby B over, and then once they were both there, they let me get up and go and see the babies on the warming tables. And I took some pictures of them, and they had originally said I could cut the cord, but then no one offered, so I didn't ask. Baby B needed a little bit more suction and stuff just to get going, and then they were fine. So they brought both babies over, and you held baby A first,
Yep.
and I held baby B first.
Right
And they were
here.
still cutting you up.
And I was like, he's falling down my neck.
You were so uncomfortable holding them because you're
Holding.
flat on your back,
And
but
they
you're
are.
not actually flat on your back, you're inclined, so your feet are higher. How long do you think it took from the start of the surgery to them being born?
Oh, to the born part?
Yeah.
10 or 15 minutes.
It was really quick.
fast. But then the stitching up took a while. Like
But
40
because we
minutes
had the
maybe.
babies with us and we were snuggling them, it went by really fast.
Oh yeah, we were
Because
so
we were like,
distracted.
oh my God, we have babies.
And then once that was done, they said, all right, put them both on you, and we're gonna wheel you over to recovery.
No, something
Oh,
big
yeah.
happened before that.
They said, we're almost done. We're just putting a Tylenol in your bum. And I was like,
They put a Tylenol.
in my bum. I was like, that was the most disturbing part of the whole thing to me.
Mostly because you said you couldn't feel it, so you were like, this is weird to me.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then we rolled over to the recovery, and then basically there we just had to wait until I was able to lift my legs.
Which took a while.
It took a long time. They kept being like, can you lift? And I was like, not yet.
Hi, baby.
And so I think the freezing worked
baby.
really well on me because
Yeah, you
it took
couldn't
a
for a
lot.
long time.
It seemed like every time they were like, okay, you should be able to move. I was like, no, I can't move yet. Freezing wore off. I was like, I do feel some pain. But it wasn't bad. Like nothing was painful at all. Oh, hi.
So your mums. And then
What's
in
your
recovery, we just snuggled the babies. I worked
Yeah.
on feeding them, like breastfeeding them. Actually, in the OR, baby A latched. They both were
You
kind of like
did?
interested in eating. And I'm pretty sure baby A was doing his best to
You were a hungry
breastfeed.
man.
You were hungry. Our birth doula stayed for the first hour in recovery. And then she left. They weighed the babies. Just like hung out with us really.
Yeah.
And we just snuggled them for a long time. And then they moved us to our room and that was it. It was such a relaxed experience. You did so amazing. I am so impressed with you and how you handled everything.
It was very relaxed. It was really easy. The whole thing, I'm very grateful because I know a lot of people have different experiences
Yeah.
with their deliveries. So I was very, very lucky. It was the best case scenario,
It was
especially for
everything you
someone
wanted.
who never wanted to give birth. It would have been the best way to do it.
Yes.
So I'm so happy. There's nothing I would have changed. It was perfect. It was painless, except that IV. So I'm very lucky.
Oh, also, neither of
Oh,
us
the
cried
drink
when the
bottle.
babies were born.
No.
Actually, the first thing that I said was that he looked like an old
An
man.
old man. So it was good. I know. I have to get you food.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the birth vlog is going to end here because there's some hungry babies.
babies.
That was your birth story.
Yeah, it was great. It was
The
really
birth of the
good.
twins.
And there's not like tons to say because it was very smooth and nothing
Oh, no complications.
went wrong. We were really lucky. Like we're so lucky.
Oh, yeah.
And then
That's
they were
the birth
here.
story. It was such a good experience. And
Yeah.
now we have our two little lambs who are hungry little babies. So, let's
Okay.
feed you.
Thanks,
Okay.
bye.
Thanks for watching. This baby's still asleep, actually. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back with another video really soon. We're going to go feed some babies.
Okay, bye.
Bye.